If you like Dodge, Chrysler, SRT cars, then you must know the snake-bitten supercar, Dodge Viper, one of the all-time greats when it comes to American-made supercars. Dodge created 5 generations of Vipers from 1992 to 2017, with many ruling the streets and also being successful in the world of GT racing. How successful? It has earned its place and name in history with more than 100 wins, including 3 Le Mans class wins, mainly 24-hour overall victories at Daytona, Spa, and Nurburgring, and series titles in FIA GT and American Le Mans Series, etc. What some motorsports fans do not know, the Viper was the deadliest threat to European manufacturers since Force's GT40 in motor racing, and has bitten off Porsche, Ferrari, Lister Storm, and even the Corvette, to name a few, with no remorse in the name of the snake. Without further ado, let's begin the story of Dodge Viper racing. A shout out to Melty Rodriguez and Bear Games for suggesting I make this video about it. For starters, the Dodge Viper hasn't only a reputation for being a dangerous sports car, but being Dodge's most successful race car to date. Even after its demise, the legacy was never forgotten. To know where the Viper racing began, we go back to 1994, when the first-gen Viper was just 2 years old. The iconic Viper RT10s had been modified by private race teams for use in GT racing in North America and Europe. You would think that it was a success, but unfortunately, it lacked success. Although its Chrysler Lamborghini built 8-liter V10 engine was powerful, it proved not enough to compensate for the rest of the car. However, Dodge knew the private teams' efforts that going racing the right way could help the struggling sales in Europe. The first Viper team to race in a major competition was set in Europe, where the RT10 took on the 1994 24 Hours Le Mans race. It had been acquired by the French rent-a-car agency, and following its promotional use, the RT10 was getting ready to compete in the GT1 class competition by Luigi Semarasti Racing Team with the French sponsor. After they restricted the engine power and the weight and added downforce kits to follow ACO regulations, the Viper hit the track and attempted to qualify for Le Mans in 1994 and 1995. The race team hoped their RT10 racer would finish the major race, and the Viper finished in an impressive 3rd in the GT1 class and 12th overall. Getting a podium was its achievement, but even then Dodge fell behind by the quicker GT1 prototypes in the following races. To up the Viper's game, starting in 1995, Dodge's parent Chrysler approved the growth of a racing program revolving around the Viper GTS, which was introduced as a new model for the second generation of the Viper in 1996. It turned out to be a huge success. Chrysler reckoned that to adapt their car to racing, they would need outside assistance. An agreement was made with the French racing and engineering firm Orca to build and maintain the Viper GTS-Rs, as well as run Chrysler's official factory teams in Europe and North America. They were most known as Chrysler Viper GTS-R in Europe, while in North America usually ran under the Dodge banner, the Dodge Viper GTS-Rs. In terms of design, much of the bodywork retained the look of the Street Viper GTS with mandatory race parts and balance of performance. After 1,000 miles of testing, it was prepared for the 1996 IMSA GT Championship. Their first racing debut began at the 1996 Rolex 24 of Daytona and in the BPR Global GT Series. Originally, the GTS-Rs were built to be GT1 spec chassis and managed to finish in 7th place in its class and 29th overall. Next, at the 12-hour Sebring, the car would improve with a 6th place finish in its class. Viper Team Orca and Southwind rehearsal for the 1996 24-hour Le Mans race. Both teams entered the big event and didn't have much success from start to finish, but at least earned the best checkered flag result in 10th place overall. The Viper initially entered the GT1 Racing Series and didn't have much success due to the strength of Porsche, Mercedes, or McLaren GT1 teams. These were specially built track cars in a class of their own. So Dodge made a switch from racing GT1 to the GT2 class. And it wasn't until that transition the Viper started to make groundbreaking history. It meant that the GTS-R became legendary and a world beater. In 1997, Team Orca focused on the new FIA GT Championship, which had replaced the BPR series and only made one appearance in IMSA GT at Daytona. In Europe, they began the season strong with a 1-2 finish in their class ahead of the dominant Porsche 911s and would go on to take 6 more victories and win the FIA GT Championship in 1997. The Orca team would strengthen their dominance in the 1998 FIA GT, and what do you know? They put in the work to win 9 out of 10 races and won the title again. The Orca Vipers will also take Europe's famous endurance race and earn their first class victory at Le Mans in 1998. At the turn of the next millennium, it became a memorable one for Dodge with the GTS-R. In 1999, Team Orca expanded their efforts in the United States and entered the all-new American Le Mans Series, which replaced the IMSA GT Series. Their cars would compete in the GTS-2 class. The team operated in 2 championships in American Le Mans Series and FIA GT, and the GTS-R's made a big name for itself in its home region. In Europe, the Vipers would succeed in winning the 1999 FIA GT Series for the 3rd time, and in 2000, Orca chose to focus on winning in an American Le Mans Series and leaving FIA GT to privateers. In the US, the Viper wasn't only a threat to Porsche or BMW, but the Corvette Racing Factory team. It killed the entire competition with the red and white stripes. From 1999 to 2000, the Orca Viper secured a total of 16 American Le Mans Series race wins and dominated 2 American Le Mans Series seasons, until eventually it was beaten twice by the sick and tired Corvette, losing to the venomous Snake. Orca will also earn their 2nd straight win at Le Mans in 1999, with various Vipers finishing in the top 6 places in their class, and won Le Mans again in 2000. The French team won 3 FIA GT titles, 3 times at Le Mans, 2 American Le Mans Series titles, and 24 hours of Daytona. How crazy is that for an American racer to show the world that the States are more than just about quarter miles and burnouts? Well, it only takes good engineering, development, and hiring experienced teams behind that stuff to pay it off. After the 2000 season, the factory-backed Viper team Orca left the racing program to solely focus on developing an Le Mans prototype. But just because they left doesn't mean the dominance stopped there. German team Zaxby decided to take part in the Viper story and enter it into the Nurburgring VLN series to take advantage of the less restrictive rules. The Viper dominated the 24-hour Nurburgring race 3 times in a row in 1999, 2001, and 2002. The French team La Brie campaigned the GTS-R in the 2001-2002 FIA GT series and won the championships, including the Spa 24 Hours. By the time the GTS-R began to fade from the highest levels of GT competition after 2003 and would make their final appearance at Le Mans. And that's it for that. Remember, the Factory Viper program ended in 2000 because of crises moved to prototype racing. So from 2001 to 2011, there was no Factory Chrysler Viper GTS-R efforts against which the Corvette C5R competed. A new chapter of the Snake returned to GT racing with an SRT factory team in mid-season 2012. At that point of the new era, the new Viper GTS-R and the 5th Gen Viper were now branded SRT, and the race car was now affiliated with SRT or Riley Motorsports instead of Orca. The new GTS-R was co-developed by both SRT Motorsports and Riley Technologies. Both the SRT Viper GTS-R and the street car were introduced at the New York Auto Show in April 2012. The GTS-R had to meet the ALMS regulations as Roush Industries would reduce the monster 8.4 liter to an 8 liter V10 by changing the cylinder bore and stroke and adding a restrictor on the engine's intake for the balance of performance. The Viper would return to racing in the 2012 American Le Mans Series in the 6th round at Mid-Ohio, and SRT Motorsports ran 2 cars. One Viper debuted as the iconic number 91 in a blue-silver livery with Forza Motorsport sponsors, and another one under number 93 on a silver-yellow livery, Pennzoil sponsor. The first partial season was just used for testing purposes, and after that, the Viper would return with the SRT team for the full American Le Mans Series campaign in 2013. The final year of American Le Mans Series before fully merging with Rolex Grand Am under the new IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship for 2014. The team's goal was to try to replicate the Viper's podium and win success back in the late 1990s, but in recent years, the Viper has been unable to repeat that success, and its history wasn't as intriguing as it once was. Times have changed, but that's not to say this Viper was a failure, because like its predecessor, well, this had some success. Likewise, the SRT Vipers put up a fight against the GT cars of BMW, Ferrari, Porsche, and Corvette, aiming to live up to its predecessor. In the entire 2013 season, the Viper was only able to get a single win at Road America and finished third in the GTS Class Championship. The Viper returned to race at the 2013 24 Hours of Le Mans, where two cars contended the GTE Pro class. Its primarily focus is to dominate major races such as Le Mans in France and Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta. Unfortunately, the team will only run the Viper once at Le Mans for the factory GTS-R efforts. The Vipers qualified well, but drifted away from victory, podium, and weren't able to beat Porsche, Corvette, and more. The best they got was an 8th, 9th finish in the GTE Pro class, followed by taking 4 podiums in the American Le Mans Series. Though the SRT team was set to return in 2014, Fiat Chrysler canceled the factory effort and the program as a whole after the 2014 season. For 2014 in the new IMSA GT-LM class, the Viper sported the throwback iconic Dodge red-white GTS stripes under number 91 and number 93. This would be the only GTS-R of this era to have contested each of the races and the Endurance Triple Crown as part of a factory effort. 2014 would be a dream come true where the SRT Motorsports team would win the IMSA GT-LM title. They managed to whip Corvette racing again as they did in 1999 and 2000. While Corvette contained 4 class wins, the Viper only had 2 wins, despite the fact it had 8 podium finishes, which by the way is 4 more than the Corvette. At Rolex 24 Daytona and Sebring, the Viper team would get 3rd and 2nd place, followed by a 2-3 finish at 6 Hours of Watkins Glen and Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Plus, they won the GT-LM class at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Circuit of the America races. It was unique that the Viper factory car swept a 1-2 victory in GT-LM class at Circuit of the Americas, followed by only finishing 3rd at the final race, Petit Le Mans. The SRT team collected enough points to win the 2014 season, and sadly, the factory Viper team left again with the blast. For 2015 and 2016, the Viper was converted from GTS-R to GT3R, which puts the car competing in the IMSA GTD class and was the final race car produced during the SRT Riley Viper program. It was campaigned by customer teams Riley Motorsports, Lone Star Racing with drivers like Ben Keating. The Viper would take the GTD class win at the 2015 Rolex Daytona and 3 more victories in the IMSA season. Ben Keating took the Viper to Le Mans in 2015 as this would be Viper's final trip to Le Mans. The following year 2016 IMSA season saw the Viper's final year of competing in that series, to celebrate its last appearance before kissing bye-bye to the beloved Viper. The Riley team went out of its way to achieve the goal of what Chrysler's factory team failed to do in 2014. By winning the big endurance race at Petit Le Mans in the final round of the 2016 season. The Viper may be gone, but never forgotten. It was a beast, an absolute beast on the track. The ultimate American sports car we've lost and will be missed the most. Its absurd V10 engine, unique and stunning design, and winning races around the globe as one of the very few US cars to achieve that. It made GM furious, and every American's dream car very dangerous to drive as the car obnoxiously looks. The racing legacy of the longevity Viper eternally lives on with more than 100 wins to its name and Dodge's most potent track machine and successful race car to date. Long live Dodge Viper. I really hope you all sports car fans sit back and relax and enjoy this epic documentary video. If you did, do not forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. We are less than 50 subs away from hitting 1,000 subscribers, and it really helps me. As I say every video, you are more than happy to give me any car suggestions in the comments down below, and I didn't forget whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, the Street Dodge Viper Evolution video is coming next to celebrate Viper's 30th anniversary. However, there is a Viper Evolution preview video that you should go check out. Stay tuned. Make sure to crank up your volume, especially for headphone users, and listen to that amazing V10 engine note. Peace out, stay safe, Chris the Radar, out.